Quinshon Judkins joins us today, reminding you to get 24/7 lasting freshness with Old Spice Swagger deodorant and body wash. Visit oldspice.com to find where to get your swagger at a store near you and to learn about the School of Swagger mentorship program. Quinshon, I want to start with this. You're a remarkably physical runner, and that's been the case since your time at Ole Miss when you were a freshman. Back then, Lane Kiffin compared you to Troy Polamalu, who he coached at USC because of what he described as a calm and quiet demeanor off the field, and then your ability to kind of flip that switch when you get on the field in between those lines. What allows you to make that transformation and turn into that, physical player on the field?
I'll say it really just my mentality and the things that you can't coach as far as the passion and grit and just having that switch. And you work so hard, preparing for those games and all those different things. Just go on the field and just go out there and execute and play free.
Where does that passion come from? Like, when did you know you loved football and wanted to give it everything?
Really, since I started playing, just having a natural love for the game at an early age since the beginning of my football career. I can remember when I wanted to play and then I started playing and just having that natural love for the game from day one.
Yeah, and all the success you have, I'm sure makes you love it even more. When you arrived at Ole Miss as a three-star recruit, you just immediately produce, and you were in a really talented running back room, but rose to the top right away. How are you able to wrestle away so many carries from your talented teammates as a freshman?
I really just coming in with the same mentality. Ready to come in as a young guy, leadership, ready to work, put your head down and just go to work and prepare the right way each day in and day out, and everything else took care of itself.
What allowed you to handle such a high volume of carries early in your career? Like, did that take a toll on your body? I have to imagine as an 18, 19-year-old freshman that takes a toll on the SEC.
No, not on myself. And I think that's what's special about me is that I did do all those things in the hardest conference in college football and still be, remain healthy. And I can say I'm thankful for our trainers there and, the approach that I had to the training room and recovery day in and day out. Starting with that routine at an early age, I think has helped me for where I am today and why I've been injury free. So I'm thankful for that for sure.
Your Ohio State fans now may not love the hardest conference in college football comment you made there with the Big Ten, but when you made that move to the Big Ten, did that workload or what would be a lack thereof with TreVeyon Henderson in place, did that influence your decision at all, trying to lighten the load a little bit your last year in college?
I would say it really wasn't something that I thought about in my decision. For myself, it was really just going to a place, where I could take my game to the next level and then just go compete for a national championship. But, that was a great situation to be a part of with TreVeyon there, where we can split reps and, split carries and help each other out as far as keeping each other fresh. So it just worked out.
Was that the first time in your football career you had to split carries like that?
No, I did it early on at Ole Miss with Zach Evans a little bit, but
Mhm.
having to come to Ohio State where it's more split a little bit, evening everything out.
Was that experience different? Like, did you have to make adjustments as a runner when you're, maybe not getting in a rhythm as easily with getting every carry early in a game? Was there just anything different in that experience?
No, I think that's what speaks about me, man. I go to offense at Ole Miss where I'm the like every down back, and when I say that I mean like just bell cow, getting the ball over and over. Then you
Hmm.
go to Ohio State to where you're splitting carries, but you still have the same production and you're doing the same thing. So I think it just speaks about who I am.
Both you and TreVeyon are going into the draft, and you're both talked about as, maybe fringe first round guys, second round guys. Can you talk a little bit about what made you guys such a special duo at Ohio State? Obviously, we saw it all season long. You guys were one of the best rushing teams in the country, but what made you guys so complimentary?
Really just our ability to go and execute on the field. And I say how well we work together as well. The way we worked, just having friendly competition, pushing each other each and every day. But at the same time, having that great relationship and being selfless. I think that's what made us win the national championship because we had so many guys like that and our whole team and locker room was like that. And that's why I ended up working out for us.
What was that first conversation like when you first met TreVeyon, knowing that this is the guy who's been here for a while and you're going to cut into his workload a little bit?
Um, I had already previously known Trey since I was in high school, so I already knew him. We were in support of each other. While I was at Ole Miss and he was at
Mhm.
Ohio State, and then when we finally met up with each other, just like okay, like you ready to do this, and just take it to another level and win, which we
Yeah, and
did.
absolutely you did. I want to before we talk a little bit about the national championship and maybe back more into the draft stuff, I want to go into a game that you guys lost, the Michigan game. You
Right.
were a 1 year Buckeye, not a guy like, Jack Sawyer or one of these 4 year guys that lost to that team all 4 years. But did it really sting letting that one slip away?
Oh, definitely. I think it meant as much as it did to me as to them as well. And I would say we all felt the same way. When you transfer to Ohio State, you know you're a part of the rivalry and it's in your blood and you want to win that game. It's like it's one of the most important things as far as that went into my decision to transfer here as well. But just to not come out with that win definitely hurt.
There were a lot of stories coming out of that game and heading into the playoff about, emotional team meetings and just the vibe around Columbus after losing that game. What was that period of time like for you? And did you have moments like you talked about transferring there to win a national championship? Did that confidence start to waver a little bit after losing that game?
No, just because I think as a competitor and also just having short-term memory in this game of football that we play, you have to have short-term memory and be able to adjust and move forward. And I felt like for myself, not losing faith in my teammates and nobody just losing faith in each other. We all believed in each other and what's that next step that we could take to move forward. So that was the biggest thing.
Do you think that loss in a weird way kind of helped you guys come together in time for the playoff to win the national championship?
I think we were already, the brotherhood. I think
Hmm.
we were always tight, but I think, holding each other accountable was something that our team was really good at. And that was one of those ones where we had to hold each other accountable and figure out how we can move forward.
And obviously it worked out. You won the national championship. You scored 3 touchdowns in the national championship game. How special was that performance? Like that's a moment every kid growing up playing football dreams about.
Right.
And do you find yourself, your mind just wandering back to that game?
No, actually, it went by so fast because I had like 2 days to prepare for the combine. I mean, like literally, like no, like 2 weeks to prepare for the combine, and I left like 2 days after the game. But I'll say, as a kid growing up, you watch college football all the time. You see the national championship on TV, and it's just one of those moments where you just can't wait till you get in that position and to finally be there in that stadium and be in that environment where it's nothing but you see all red from Buckeye fans. So that moment was truly special and to see the confetti fall at the end of the game, it was like so surreal and just a moment that I'll truly remember for the rest of my life.
Do you have a favorite one of those 3 touchdowns?
Mm, I don't know. I think probably the one where I stepped on the guy is probably one of my favorite ones. Just because it was like beginning of the game, crowd is going crazy and like just fun.
Yeah, do you pride yourself on that in as an aspect of your game, the physicality, running guys over, stiff arming guys?
I think that's just something that's not who I am as a player, man. I'm so versatile. I can go in
Hmm.
between tackles and outside, make guys miss. I'm very elusive. I think that's just one of the things that are in my bag. And, when I have a chance to use it, I just use it because I can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that smile creep onto your face a little bit talking about the stiff arm. So, a different aspect of your game is the 70-yard breakaway run in that game. What did
Yeah.
you see there? When did you know you had a crease? Like you had a nice cutback as the flow was going the other way. A great design
Oh,
from Chip Kelly. Did you think you were
great.
gone?
Oh, great design. So pre-play, before we talk about that, I had a wheel route where I had to run like 50 yards down the field to clear it for the under route. So I'm trying to get out of there. It's for the love of the game route. So we come
Hmm.
back. I'm gassed. We run inside zone from under. So it's a great call and draw by Coach Kelly. I see everything wash open. Going through my progressions and my reads. Just me having that ability and that instinct see everything wash over, take the cut back, take it 70 yards.
Did you think you were gone?
Man, I just remember seeing one guy that was to my right. I remember seeing the one guy to my right and I was just running. I think in a moment, like when you get the ball and you get to that second level, I've taken a lot of long runs home before. So I think it's just like I'm always going when I get to that second level for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a really good segue talking about the design of the play. Chip
Mhm.
Kelly is one of the best run game designers in all of football, college or NFL, anything. He's just so versatile in the different types of runs that you use in that offense, and it was really fun to watch him use you and TreVeyon in different ways and make, different runs look the same. What did you learn from him about playing the position and the run game as a whole?
I think just really the versatility that you can use with a player like me, him being able to put me in the slot and then also be able to put me in the backfield. Just really, man, the ability to draw up anything and he listens to the player's opinion and he values that as a coach. And I think that's something that was special about him. And really, he does things that are super fun that, other offenses you can't do. But I think he's just the way that he can just go really draw things up and just bring it to life on the field.
Is that something rare from a coaching staff to ask for listen to the players' opinions and really value what they're seeing on the field?
I mean, I really can't speak and say that it's rare, but I just know as far as my experience with him, it's been
Mhm.
nothing but great. Day in and day out, the way we install things and walk through, and as a coach, he explains things and how detailed he is as a coach. I think he's a great professional, and I really appreciate him.
So you've been on some pre-draft visits by now. I'm interested in this because it's so different from a recruiting visit. How does that compare from those high school recruiting visits? Because the power dynamic is certainly flipped. Like you're trying to impress them now instead of them trying to impress you.
Yeah, I say it's different. I was just talking to somebody about that. I was like, man, it's different because usually in college, I'm just like college and recruiting, you're the one that's choosing where you want to go. So I think it's definitely changed. But just as a player, man, just enjoying the experience and just taking it all in has been one of the things that has, I really enjoyed and getting to talk football at the end of the day. So it's special.
Are there any of those pre-draft visits that have stuck out to you that, getting to talk football, any of the coaching staffs that you're really connected with?
I think all of them have been different in their own different ways. Getting to see the city, the people there, their environments, and their culture and organization. They've all had special things that I've liked about each and every one, but I think I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah, definitely. And this is an interesting offseason as well for football players. Like it's the first time you're not really on a team.
Right.
What has that been like for you? And so many people, so many players talk about how for the combine you have to train almost as a track athlete, and then you have to train as a football athlete again after that. Has that been your experience in this whirlwind of a draft process?
Yeah, just because with short notice for the combine after we won that championship, like I said, we didn't have much time to prepare, so you train a whole different way while you're practicing for the championship, and then a little later you're training a whole different way. You're training as a track athlete, trying to get your sprint mechanics right, get the right form, and then now we're done with that. We're back training for football and the things that really matter. So I feel like just during this time, continuing to work out, work on those things that I want to get better at, and just can correct in it and get ready for really the draft, man.
Do you have a track background at all?
Not really, no. I practiced with track in high school, but as far as running in a meet, never have, no.
Yeah, I was just interested in those sprint mechanics that you talked about and that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, it's
Um,
important.
yeah, absolutely. And going through this process, like, are there any former teammates or anyone in the NFL that you're leaning on for advice for how to navigate the combine or navigate those pre-draft visits?
I think I've had a lot of great vets in the NFL and in my corner that have helped me, guys like Derrick Henry, and just having people to talk to and ask certain questions to, Alvin Kamara, all guys like that are there and have done those things in the league and have had great success. Having those guys in your corner to be able to ask certain questions is great.
Are those two guys that you model your game after, or are there other backs that you kind of try to take little aspects of their game?
It's definitely things in their game that I do like. Yeah, it's a lot of great backs in the league. You look at Saquon, you look at Christian McCaffrey, guys that have had nothing but a lot of success and have special things about them. So I say, you like certain things and aspects of certain people's game for sure.
This is such a loaded running back class in this draft, and I'm sure that's something you experienced when you got to the combine. Is that a competitive environment in those group workouts when you're with the other running backs and you want to get drafted over them? Or are you, cheering for the other guys when they run well in their 40? What's the vibe like on the field in Indy?
Yeah, man, just really just all vibe and all great players. We all do special great things. So from at our schools that we were at, but in the environment we're on the field, you're pushing that guy. You want him to run that fast time. You want him to jump high. I think as a competitor, you want to be the best at the same time, but you want to make sure the guy, you're pushing for him and just continuing to motivate people. That was a great vibe there in Indy, and I think we all enjoyed it for sure.
Absolutely. And I really hope you enjoy draft night, whether it's day one or day two. I know you'll be off the board pretty early. Excellent career and congratulations on everything. Thanks for joining us. And always, everyone make sure to go check out oldspice.com to find where to get your swagger at a store near you and learn about the School of Swagger mentorship program. Thank you, Quinshon.
Yeah, thank you, bro.